Charlie, Charlie Kirky. I spot the perky. Charlie, Charlie Kirky. I just Charlie, Charlie Kirky.
Dorothy Doodle is the winner.
I don't like your T-Series. Nothing personal, kid. But I must go all out. Just this once.
Okay, it's childish, can't be no homegirl dropping like the NASDAQ. Move white girls like this coke up my ass crack.
You're trying to dethrone me for spot on #1, but you India, you lose. So best think you haven't won.
In Adidas with some short shorts, B-O-O all over me. My green is where it's supposed to be, your green is in my grocery.
Nathan's here with all the ice on in the booth. At the gate outside, when they pull up, they give me loose. Yeah, jump out, boys. That's Nike boys hopping our coast. This shit way too big. When we pull up, give me the loot.
She said, do you love me? I tell her only partly. I only love my bed.
You're way too beautiful, girl. That's why you never work. You have me suicidal.
I love and I hate you, and I cannot change you, so I must replace you. So before I let it go, I be cracking, why me roll? I be crack that soldier boy, that Superman, that all I want me go. Crack that soldier, now watch me, now watch me whip, whip, watch me, now watch me whip.
Olivia, Blicky got the stevia, got the blicky up, drumming on the slippy up.
It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro. It's every day, bro.
届けて切なさには名前を付けようか
I'm down for you always, baby. Do you love me? Are you riding? Say you never ever leave beside me. 'Cause I want you and I need you, and I'm down for you always. I woke up Chris Breezy. Oh my God, I'm the man. I'm so fly and I can dance. There's tattoos on my neck. I walk a lonely road, the only one that I have ever known. Don't know where it goes, but it's home to me and I
She
walk
was
alone.
looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead.
Gary, I'm sorry I neglected you. Oh, I never expected you to run away and leave me feeling this way.
How many shrimps do you have to eat before you make your skin turn pink? Eat too much and don't get sick. Shrimps are pretty rich.
We are number one.
Well, imagine as I'm pacing the pews in a church corridor, and I can't help but to hear, no, I can't help but to hear an exchanging of words.
Hit or miss, I guess they never miss, huh? You got a boyfriend, I bet he doesn't kiss ya. He gon' find another girl and he won't miss ya. He gon' spend them at the dub like what's the least?
Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot dream tonight. I knew.
Pasito, pasito, despacito, lo vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Lugares favoritos. Despacito.
Spotlight, moonlight, white chicken, Mariah. Tryna look good in the moonlight. But so got mine. Spotlight, moonlight.
I wanna be gay, 'cause you're fucked and I wanna savor it. It's cool after smashing you, I'll PayPal you 2K. Oh no, you getting mad? Gonna knock the phone right out of my hand? That shit was fucking absurd. You're a rapper who can't resolve shit with words?
Alexander Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. Got yourself a prom, you can Alexander Hamilton.
I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick buck. I like my dick stuck. I buy you a sick buck, I buy you some new pics. I get you that dip up. How you start a family, the condoms flipped up.
낮에는 따사로운 인간적인 여자, 커피 한 잔에 여유를 아는 품격 있는 여자.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now. Don't catch you slipping now. Look what I'm whipping now.
そんなんじゃダメ、もうそんなんじゃほら心は進化するよもっともっと
It's hard to say that I'd rather stay awake when I'm asleep. 'Cause everything is never as it seems.
Hi everybody, it's me, Charlie. That's the longest intro song I think I have, I'm not gonna lie. And he needed to buy myself a moment or two, and even then I still wasn't entirely ready. But here we are. Happy Monday. It's me here. I'm queer. I'm probably gonna mess something up along this way. Oh my god, hold on, I didn't, the thumbnail that was Adventure Time, that was like my desktop, that was like my first ever mouse pad I had when I worked at like a real job, like an office job. I got in a smoking hot MILF. I miss those earrings. Which one? Wait, which ones? Oh, the MILF earrings. I gotta find those. They're probably in with the rest of my earrings. I like the MILF earrings. I've been trying to keep it pretty regular though. I have the red MILF one. On this side, I have like black. Black earring word through my gauge, and then on this side, I just have a singular black earring, no sword. Kind of going for that little imbalance because typically when I wear my hair like down, I wear it like usually like this side will be heavier, and that's usually the side without the sword. So then the sword kind of balances my hairline out with it. That makes sense. Heart shaped. Yes, the heart shaped red MILF ones. Yes, I think they are in with some of my other gauges. I think I bent them a little bit because they weren't fitting inside of my one gauge properly. But that doesn't mean I can't wear them again. But I've stuck with these. I think, when did I read that? This is gonna sound lame as fuck. When did I read that fan fiction? January? I think that fan fiction was posted over Christmas break. So, yeah, like January is when I read that fan fiction. So I think that's about as long as I had. So hard to see. Everything in this house is black or red. I've been thinking about painting the walls. Really have. I keep looking in the background. I'm like, it's so dark. Like I have my ceiling light on right now. I have my name light on right now. I have the curtain open and I have my ring lights. It's still really dark in here. At least on camera to me. But beautiful here in Jersey today. It's absolutely beautiful here. Down at the shore. Currently we are 68 degrees. When I went to get my kids off the bus earlier, it was like, I don't know, what did I post to the Discord? 70? Hold on. Find it. Yeah, we have a weather channel section, and it's probably my third favorite channel in the Discord. It was 75 when I went to go get the kids off the bus at like 2 o'clock today. And then I spent most of the day at the park with a bunch of mom friends and our kids all played together. And we all complained about a bunch of stuff. But I did this morning. I cleared out as much of the, like, there's this kind of like, I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like this creeping grass where basically there's like a small little patch of it and then it slowly spreads like its arms out across the ground. I hate that. So I rip it out and it takes over my bed. So I was going through my garden and pulling all that out and then planting a bunch of new flowers, planted a row of sunflowers, a bunch of marigolds, a bunch of zinnias, and some morning glories that were all I got from the seed swap. So 10 out of 10. I'm also planning the next seed swap for No King's Day. Because I'm doing both. I'm trying to do both. Fucking the No Kings people haven't gotten back to me yet, and I'm starting to get really annoyed. Okay, so like I applied to do it on like Friday, 4 days ago. And I haven't heard anything back. Every day I've sent them like an email. I did hear back like, hey, your information wasn't correct on here, so you need to fix this. So I fixed it. I updated it with the safety information they needed me to do. I sent it back in, and that was like Saturday, and I haven't heard anything yet. And I'm trying to get everybody to know about this. And I'm also promoting the seat swap at the same time. And I'm trying to get the DSA to come to the No Kings protest because I'm in the DSA. And I'm like, hey, come on down. We'll just do a big old crossover, like a Hanna-Barbera Wacky Racers event. Like, let's do it. Let's get No Kings people into gardening, and let's get the gardeners into No Kings Day, you know? And also let's introduce people at No Kings Day and gardeners to the DSA and vice versa. So, like, I'm trying to coordinate all of that, which might be a little too much, but I haven't heard anything back, and I'm really, really annoyed. But there is somebody I did hear back from. So, in the book chat of the Discord, I've been talking to everybody about my books, and mostly been talking about, like, how much I've typed. I think I'm at, like, 65,000 total, but I haven't done any severe editing. There are checks, like, there are chunks that are just like, it's like a bunch of spaces, and then it says fill this in later when you can think of a better way to describe this, and then spaces, and then the next section that I could think of next. That way I could get my ideas out, and then I'll figure out the in-between. But I need to go through that. I've kind of stalled out. Sorry, I wanted to go look at the... And it's not like I don't know where I'm going with the story. It's just that I'm not quite sure how to build up this relationship between the characters in, like, a meaningful way. That is, like, digestible to the reader, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to throw a new character in, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, rip them away. Like, it just doesn't, I don't know. I need to figure that out, and I'm struggle busing, but I'm getting there. And I feel like every time I say that, I end up writing like 5 to 7 pages, but I marked it off that, like, once I'm finished this one chapter, I'm going to go back through and read everything and, like, edit and fix and add as I go and try to map out scenes. But that's all to say, while I've been doing this, I've been listening to a lot of music. For the most part, I have completely stopped using the internet when I am typing, especially when I'm really locked in. Like, there were 2 days where I didn't watch a single YouTube video outside of the music, like putting music on a loop. Specifically the song I open my stream with now, which is usually my backtrack. This bad boy. This was playing on a loop. Hi, Blue! Oh my god! Hi. How are you? I'm describing some good news. So anyway, I have been listening to a lot of music while I've been writing this book. And I really want other people to be able to experience that with me, because sometimes hearing the music with a scene can make it more, like, emotionally intense. And, like, really kind of nail something home. So, like, so many people, when they, like, write a book, sometimes they do hear, like, music in their head, like, or, like, famously, Stephenie Meyers was inspired by Radiohead. So she really wanted Supermassive Black Hole involved in all parts of it. I'm good. I'm playing the first God of War game, like the first one, like the first ever one back from, like, 2002 or whatever. So fuck. Anyway, okay, music. So outside of using this particular song, I have managed to find I found an app. I heard about it. Where is it? I heard about it from a YouTuber, but I had also heard other people talking about it when I Googled. I was trying to figure out if a YouTube channel I was listening to was AI. And so I Googled that, and then a bunch of YouTube channels with similar names or Reddit conversations with similar names popped up. And the app that popped up was called Pocket Bard. And the PS3 remake of it. Oh, okay. So I went to their website. I downloaded it for my Chromebook because my Chromebook has Google Play on it. So I downloaded it there, and I believe I can still use it when there's no internet available. Haven't tested that yet. I'll get back to you. But they have, let's see if I can just pocket. Okay, so I wonder if there's like no. Okay, I can't. But anyway, so I was really enjoying the fact that I could use their specific music for certain settings, like let's say the city, and then I can create my own ambient sounds to go in the city, because there are some points where like you're in the city and you're having like generic conversation around like coffee, and then like there's other parts where you're in the city and you know you are having a hostile interaction with somebody, or there's more people walking around, or you're crossing a stream. And I want to be able to have the people who read my book find that. So I reached out to Pocket Bard and I was like, hey, can I use you guys? And also, do you know if there's a way or if there's a feature that you're working on that could do like set playlists that people who have the app can share playlists? Because there's like a couple of apps that do things like that where you can like make a specific pattern and then share that pattern with other people, and then they can use it at the same time. But it's all within the app. So they actually wrote me back and they were like, yes, absolutely. That's a really cool concept. I love that idea. Also, here's a bunch of our like promotional information, and that they are potentially working on something similar to that. But that they will keep me in the loop. And so like I think that's super awesome. So good news is when I finally get this book published, I have at least one person or one team of people behind it, aside from like you guys and Hobby. But yeah, so I'm excited. I have also been making a YouTube playlist for the book, and we're getting there. But I haven't been writing as much as I had been. I severely slowed down. I forget what I was trying to look on the Discord for word count. Book talk? $62,555, but I'm more than that now because I did that on March 3rd and today's the 9th, and I know I've written a little bit more than that. So, I did a lot of yard work today. My body kind of hurts, not gonna lie. And what else? No, but I do need to use the restroom, so I'm gonna just throw you guys on BRB. 20 minutes into stream and the streamer's already abandoned it. But I'm gonna run inside and use the restroom, and then we're gonna get to news. Just a little bit of news today. There's a few things I want to go over, like gasoline and one or two other things, and then we're gonna get to Grab by the Ghoulies, hopefully by 7:30. But I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back and the window's closed. It's starting a little chilly out. It always feels colder when the sun starts to go down than when it's coming up. That's for sure. Oh, dang. News time. Sorry, boys.
Just over 1 week into Donald Trump's war in Iran, here's where things stand. 8 U.S. service members have died. The White House did not rule out a draft. We face what the Wall Street Journal calls the worst energy crisis since the 1970s, and the Iranian regime has replaced one brutal dictator with that brutal dictator's son. The war continues to intensify and escalate, with apocalyptic scenes of destruction unfolding in Tehran over the weekend. So far across the Middle East, almost 2,000 people have been killed, including at least 260 children. The Pentagon announced the loss of a 7th service member over the weekend in an attack in Saudi Arabia. He was identified earlier today as 26-year-old Sergeant Benjamin Pennington. He was from Kentucky. An 8th in Kuwait died in a non-combat medical emergency. He was identified as 46-year-old Major Sorfly Davies from New York. The death toll could continue to rise if more U.S. ground troops are sent to Iran. NBC News is reporting that Donald Trump privately expressed serious interest in boots on the ground. According to that reporting, Trump's, quote, interest in deploying ground troops has not focused on a large-scale ground invasion of Iran, but rather on the idea of a small contingent of U.S. troops that would be used for specific strategic purposes, end quote. The economic fallout from the first week has been swift and has already proven to be dire. Wall Street Journal reports this, quote, the most severe shock to energy markets since the 1970s is cascading through the world economy. The disruption quickly fed into higher gasoline and diesel prices at the pump and higher mortgage rates and borrowing costs for the U.S. government, endangering Donald Trump's economic priorities. Oil prices are soaring, reaching more than $100 a barrel for period today. It's the first time that has happened in almost 4 years, and it is thanks to the fact that the war has essentially grounded the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz to a halt. In response to that, Donald Trump told Fox News yesterday this, quote, these ships should go through the Strait of Hormuz and show some guts. There's nothing to be afraid of, end quote. Here's how Trump administration officials are trying to explain away the startling jump in oil prices.
And the other side here is that once this is over, then oil prices are going to be sustainably lower and in a safer position for years, if not decades, to come.
Yes, we have a temporary period of elevated energy prices, but it will not be long. In the worst case, this is weeks. This is not months. And it leads to a much better place. What you're seeing is emotional reactions and fear that this is a long-term war. This is not a long-term war. It's a temporary movement.
With respect to what's happening with gas prices right now, this is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain of taking out the rogue Iranian terrorist regime.
Oh, my God.
That message was echoed by Donald Trump, who posted this, quote, short-term oil prices is a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. Switching to all caps, only fools would think differently, exclamation point. The promise of a long-term gain, though, runs into major problems. First, the Iranian regime shows no signs of backing down. Mujtaba Khamenei is the son of the late Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He was chosen to be the new supreme leader, cementing the hardline theocratic rule in the country. Officials are worried that Trump's war has opened a Pandora's box with no clear endgame. New York Times reports this, quote, interviews with dozens of officials in the United States, Israel, Iran, and across the Middle East suggest that while American and Israeli military capabilities have proven to be overwhelming during the war's first 7 days, the violence that has metastasized across the region could yield all manner of fraught outcomes. That is where we start today with some of our favorite reporters and friends. New York Times diplomatic correspondent Michael Crowley's here. Also joining us, former director of the CIA. Our senior national security and intelligence analyst, Tom Brennan, is back.
I just want to listen to the news of it. I don't want to listen to analytics. Like, just Give me the actual fact. That makes sense? Am I being too picky? I think Barron Trump should be drafted. He spoke today? I don't even know over that. Ugh. Oh, but the shutdown's still going on. Kristi Noem got fired and they still didn't reinstate the Department of
A
Homeland
partial
Security's
government
budget.
shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security is leading to travel airports across the country.
Lines at security checkpoints are stretching for hours amid a busy spring break travel season. Lee Waldman brings us the latest.
I started a stopwatch. 32 minutes. 32. So it's moving, but it's a long line. We're gonna miss our flight, I'm sure.
How long has it been, guys? 3 hours, probably.
Spring break travel nightmares at airports across the
3
country.
hours?
Deep inside the garage, and it circles around 7 times before you even get to this part.
At the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport, TSA is advising waits can extend up to 2 hours long. In Houston at the William Hobby Airport, TSA lines stretched more than 3 hours again today after similar wait times Sunday. Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport is also advising travelers to arrive early for flights Monday and give themselves.
TSA PreCheck was working at Newark and Louisville. I was through in like a second. Yeah, but it's also not a massive holiday weekend. Like, you didn't go during, like, people are actively traveling right now because, like, some things are shut down for, a week or so. I think, isn't Easter at the end of the month?
Extra time to make it through security.
Like, colleges just took their spring break, right? Or about to?
I think it needs to be cleaned up.
The longer wait times are being blamed on the partial government shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the TSA. Funding for the department lapsed in mid-February amid a standoff between Republicans and Democrats over federal immigration reform. Now, TSA
Easter is the first week in April. Yeah. So then doesn't that mean, like, most colleges are doing their finals right about now? Right? I don't know. I'm old.
Are set to miss their first full paycheck this week. In a statement, a DHS
Midterms.
spokesperson said, quote, "These frontline heroes received only partial paychecks earlier this month and now face their first full missed paycheck, leading to
Finals are in May. All right, then I don't know what spring break is.
financial hardship, absences, and crippling staffing shortages." I'm Lee Walton reporting.
Oh, good. Thank God. Oh, I already read finals. All right. Thank you, Philip DeFranco. Like, I need to get up to date. I've been so busy writing this book, I can't keep up to date with anything. So I appreciate Philip DeFranco. I did watch that Zed Tabani earlier. Great episode. Always makes me feel good.
A seventh American service member has now been killed, and the civilian death toll continues to rise in Iran and across the region. Also, you have a new video adding to the evidence that the United States is responsible for killing
That was gnarly.
175 people, most of them children, at an Iranian girls' school on the first day of the war. And then, of course, we're gonna have to talk about Iran officially naming its new supreme leader, oil prices reaching their highest levels in years, and Donald Trump now demanding total surrender. But where we'll start is with this new video that was published by a semi-official Iranian news
7, that's almost twice as much as Benghazi. Yeah, and we won't hear a peep about it.
agency, though it has also been verified by
Like
outlets like the New York
unlike
Times and
Benghazi.
Bellingcat. Right in the video, it shows a Tomahawk cruise missile striking a naval base beside the school on February 28th, with the camera then panning to the ground and showing what was left of the school. And the reason this is such crucial evidence is that the United States is the only force in this war that uses Tomahawk missiles. But it's already launched dozens of them over the course of the conflict, starting from the very first day that it began. And that's also according to videos published by U.S. Central Command, as well as statements by General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who said at a press briefing on March 2nd,
"The first shooters at sea were Tomahawks unleashed by the United States Navy, closed in on Iranian naval forces and began to conduct strikes across the southern flank in Iran.
But also, before this new video was released, evidence pointing to U.S. responsibility, it's been piling up. The Times, for example, had already looked at satellite imagery, social media posts, and other verified videos to conclude that the strike appeared to have been part of an American attack on the naval base. You also had other outlets figuring the same, and there have also been reports that the U.S. military's own investigation is approaching the same conclusion, although it notes that it didn't target the school on purpose. Instead, it may have been hit by accident, possibly thanks to faulty intelligence wrongly identifying the school building as part of an Iranian military installation. And actually with that, satellite images show that the building had been part of the naval base as late as 2013, but that by 2016, it had been walled off from the installation. But with that change happening more than a decade ago, it still leaves open the question of how did the US possibly rely on such outdated intelligence? So then also, none of this explains why Trump, despite officials saying that the investigation's ongoing and despite having no evidence, is telling reporters that actually Iran was responsible.
We think it was done by Iran. Because they're very inaccurate, as you know, with their munitions. They have no accuracy whatsoever. It was done by Iran.
I'm sorry, but didn't Americans shoot like painted fucking things on the ground? I'm sorry, what?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
But then you have the question of, well, how accurate is the US with its weapons? Or because in addition to the school strike, you have the Iranian Red Crescent Society saying that roughly 10,000 civilian structures across the country have been damaged, including homes, schools, and almost 36 health facilities. And well, right now, no outside organization has been able to verify that. You did have the World Health Organization confirming more than a dozen attacks on health infrastructure, leading to the deaths of at least 4 healthcare workers. Also, you have the BBC documenting damage during US and Israeli strikes on at least 2 schools, a hospital, and
I think the first God of War game may actually be the worst video game on the planet. That's fair.
even a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You've also got the group Human Rights Activists in Iran reporting that the civilian tolls passed 1,200 compared to only 187 in the military, with more than 300 deaths still unclassified. But in the face of all this, you've had the Defense Department defending itself with, for example, U.S. Central Command issuing what it called a warning to Iranian civilian yesterday on social media, saying
it was not that bad, but I can see how it could feel that bad.
that it comes as Iran's terrorist
Especially to someone who wasn't alive when it was made.
regime blatantly disregards the safety of innocent people, and adding, the Iranian regime is using heavily populated civilian areas to conduct military operations, including launching one-way attack drones and ballistic missiles, and saying this dangerous decision risks the lives of all civilians in Iran, since locations used for military purposes lose protected status and could become legitimate military targets under international law. Though to be clear there, right, just being military targets in civilian areas, it doesn't give an attacker free reign to just let loose. International law is more complicated than that. And that's also as you have Iran now accusing the United States of attacking civilian infrastructure with no military purpose. With the country's foreign minister writing in a statement on Saturday that the U.S. committed a blatant and desperate crime by attacking a freshwater desalination plant and claiming the water supply in 30 villages has been impacted, and adding, attacking Iran's infrastructure is a dangerous move with grave consequences. The U.S. set this precedent, not Iran.
It feels nearly unplayable. All right, I think you're being a bit dramatic, mister. I put every single thing that shouldn't be on a device onto it. I will play every game on every console. Drama queen, yeah. You're having a bit of a mope. Yeah, get good, scrub. Have you not seen me struggle on fucking Grabbed by the Ghoulies? Get good.
And then with that, the next day, Bahrain announced that an Iranian drone had caused material damage to a desalination plant there, although there was reportedly no impact on water supplies or water network capacity. But the potential impact, if there was more damage there, it's massive, with one expert telling the Times. In the Gulf, desalination facilities are not merely infrastructure. They are essential lifelines that supply drinking water to millions. Striking them risks turning a military confrontation into a direct threat to civilian survival. And so that situation is definitely one we're gonna have to keep an eye on, but for now, Iran's focus mostly seems to be on other targets. So today, for example, you had NATO air defenses shooting down what Turkey said was an Iranian missile heading its way, with this being the second time that's happened. And so again, that's raised concerns about the possibility of NATO getting roped into all this. But then also, as far as other Iranian strikes, some today reportedly wounded more than 30 people in Bahrain and sparked a fire near a petroleum refinery. Also, at least one person was killed in Israel, and Saudi Arabia actually reported.
As dramatic as I usually am, this game is just that dated. It is very square. It is very square, and it is very kind of... The camera's not very good.
reported its first deaths recently. They said that a military projectile fell onto a residential area and killed 2 people of Indian and Bangladeshi nationality. And overall, the hundreds of missiles and drones that Iran has fired at not only military targets, but also civilian infrastructure, including airports, hotels, and energy facilities in nearly a dozen countries, has killed at least 20 people so far. And among those killed have been American service members. And actually with that, you had Trump attending what's known as a dignified transfer ceremony for 6 of them on Saturday, all of which were killed after an Iranian drone strike in Kuwait just a day after the war began. But also with this, you had Trump pissing some people off for keeping his hat on during the ceremony, with, for example, the California governor writing, "Take your hat off, you disgusting little man," and former RNC chairman Michael Steele adding, "This fool has absolutely no sense of dignity of appreciation for the moment." So what then sparked even more backlash was Fox News' apparent attempt to hide it. Because Fox News viewers, they were shown an old video of Trump at a similar ceremony back in December, when notably he did not wear a hat to salute troops who had died in Syria. And even then, when the network finally aired a report that included footage from Saturday, it was edited to avoid showing Trump wearing his hat. A hat that notably he was also photographed wearing while golfing yesterday in Florida and is also sold by the Trump Organization for $55. But also with this, getting back to the death toll, yesterday you had
The only thing that's keeping me playing is this story. Yes, wait till you get further in.
the Pentagon revealing that a 7th U.S. service member has now been killed. And while they haven't been publicly identified yet, he or she was reportedly seriously injured on March 1st when Iran struck a Saudi military base where American troops were stationed, with that person then dying from those injuries on Saturday night while officials were preparing a transfer for more advanced medical care at an American military hospital in Germany. And at the same time, interestingly, Israel only reported its first soldier deaths this weekend, saying that 2 were killed in fighting Hezbollah in southern Lebanon. Where hundreds of thousands have been displaced, the death toll is approaching
Being very disrespectful. Game kicks ass. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm just saying I understand.
500, and Israel has now been accused of illegally using white phosphorus over residential areas, a move that's considered illegal because of the indiscriminate and long-lasting harm that it can cause to civilians. And notably, that's happening as people in Iran may also be getting exposed to dangerous chemicals thanks to Israel. And that's because it hit 30 Iranian fuel depots on Saturday, including 4 in and around Tehran, sparking a massive fire that could be seen throughout the city and blanketing the city in heavy smoke. And with that, you had the Iranian Red Crescent Society warning that the toxic chemicals now in the air could lead to acid rain. And that is you had a UK-based doctor telling The Guardian that the toxic gases and fine particulate matter could irritate the eyes and airways, worsen asthma, pulmonary conditions, and heart disease, and increase the risks of some cancers. And also, notably here, the Israeli strikes reportedly sparked the first significant disagreement between Israel and the United States since the war began, with sources telling Axios that the US is worried that Israeli strikes on infrastructure that serve ordinary Iranians could backfire strategically, rallying them around the regime and even driving up oil prices. So of course, oil prices are already being driven up. Right? Prices have been climbing since the war broke out, and Iran effectively shut down the Strait of Hormuz, which normally transits 20% of the world's oil and natural gas, by threatening to attack tankers that travel through the essential waterway. But in the past 24 hours, the situation escalated dramatically, with oil prices surging to nearly $120 per barrel overnight before then falling to around $100 early this morning. I mean, we're talking about the
It's an action adventure hack and slash. I apologize. It's just my personal view of the game right now.
highest prices since Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Oil's almost 50% more expensive than it was before Israel and the United States started attacking Iran less than 2 weeks ago. And already you have Americans paying higher prices at the pump. According to AAA, average gas prices have jumped 50 cents per gallon just in the last week alone, surging from $2.98 to $3.45. And you have analysts predicting that gas will reach $4 per gallon this week, which is the price you can usually expect to see when the cost per barrel reaches around $100. Though also understand, it could go even higher than that if barrel costs continue to rise. I mean, you have some experts warning that we could actually see oil prices hitting an all-time high of $148 this week. That would break the previous record that was set in 2008. And then those surging prices could set off a chain reaction of sweeping economic consequences.
Oh my God. I remember seeing those. Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
But rising fuel costs, it impacts the entire global supply chain. And when operating becomes more expensive for businesses, they pass those costs on to the consumer. And while the effects will mostly be felt in Asia and Europe, which rely more heavily on the Middle East for oil and natural gas, this is still very much a global issue, which is already clearly evidenced by the skyrocketing prices we're seeing worldwide today. And so with this, you have the managing director of the IMF also warning that a prolonged conflict in Iran could push global inflation higher. And then at the same time, you have analysts in the US specifically raising concerns about stagflation as inflation increases and growth slows. And these new fears, they're coming at a time when many Americans are already worried about the economy and rising prices. And all these worries, we saw that being reflected in global stock markets today, which absolutely tanked when they opened this morning. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all went down about 1% as of recording. Japan's index fell a whopping 5%, and European markets shed 1 to 2%. But in addition to the economic impacts, the rising oil prices are also significant because of the signal they send about the war itself. Right? While prices have been rising since the war broke out, they were more modest because traders calculated that markets could easily absorb a short disruption. disruption. The surges that we're seeing today, it indicates that the traders are worried that the war is going to drag on. But at the same time, you have Trump repeatedly seeking to downplay those concerns, telling reporters last week that he isn't concerned and that prices will go up, but promising that they will come down very fast.
They
But
will
at least
not.
so far, prices have continued to do the exact opposite. And yesterday, you had Trump trying to address
I remember when I was in first grade and I saw gas had gone up to $1.10 and I was like, that's the same amount of money as my lunch money. And that was the last time I've ever seen it that price, ever, in my lifetime. So in in the last 30 years, I've never seen it that cheap.
those concerns, but basically saying that anyone who's concerned about the price of oil is an idiot. Writing on Truth Social, short-term oil prices, which will drop rapidly when the destruction of the Iran nuclear threat is over, is a very small price to pay for USA and world safety and peace. Only fools would think differently. And with that, he then told CBS Today that he thinks the war is very complete, pretty much, and that led oil prices to drop down again. But of course, you have many saying that Trump might just be saying that so the market will react, especially as it contradicts repeated claims from top officials who have said that what we're seeing now is just the beginning of the offensive. You know, if that's the case, you have experts saying that there's not much that'll help as long as the strait remains closed. And actually, to that point, you had Macron saying that France will launch a joint effort to escort container ships in the Strait of Hormuz once the initial conflict has calmed down some. And you've had Trump as well, also previously floating the idea of dispatching the US Navy to do the same. Though also with that, I have to note that administration officials have downplayed that possibility, at least for now. But also Trump and other members of the administration have been so inconsistent and out of step with one another throughout this whole thing that who really knows what they're going to do? Right? Trump first suggested that the attack was meant to create the conditions for the Iranian people to rise up and overthrow their government. But then Marco Rubio argued that the strike had been necessary because Iran posed an imminent threat, suggesting that Israel was going to attack with or without the United States and Iran would retaliate against American forces. But then there's also reason to believe that the administration could have held Israel back, but chose not to. Right? The US actually actively took part in planning the attack, and Trump himself said that, if anything, he might have forced Israel's hand, not the other way around. And so Rubio backtracked while both he and Pete Hegseth downplayed Trump's initial suggestion that regime change has been an objective, with him arguing that the real goal was to permanently destroy Iran's nuclear program and eliminate its ability to launch missiles at Israel, nearby Arab countries, and the United States in the future. Though, of course, notably, American intelligence has assessed within the past year that Iran was not actively building nuclear weapons and is years away from developing missiles capable of reaching the United States. And in any case, while his cronies make that argument, you've just had Trump going back to the regime change argument. Right on Friday, you had him telling CNN that he's not worried about whether Iran becomes a democracy, but he is going to get someone of his choosing in power, saying it's going to work very easily. It's going to work like in Venezuela. And that's even as those around him have reportedly told him repeatedly that this is an entirely different situation and has been since the war began. And with all this, the Washington Post reporting on a classified intelligence report completed about a week before the war that even a large-scale assault would be unlikely to get rid of the regime. And to that point, Iran has now officially named its new supreme leader, with Iran's assembly of experts electing the 56-year-old son of the previous supreme leader who was killed in the initial strikes. And so now the new leader will have final say over matters of state, serving as commander-in-chief of the military and powerful paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. He'll also have authority over a stockpile of highly enriched uranium that could be used to build a nuclear weapon at some point. But then also, beyond his official role and title, he's kind of a relative unknown even within Iran. That said, though, according to reports, he's been an influential figure operating in the shadows.
If the prior Ayatollah literally died of a heart attack, his son still would have taken over. Nothing changed. Yeah, that's why I'm like,
coordinating military and intelligence operations for his father. He's also a hardliner with very close ties to the Revolutionary Guard Corps.
So wait a minute. Trump got all of the people he wanted as backups who, like, he got them all kirked. And then, like, it still went to who, like, he wouldn't have wanted. Oh my God. Congrats on the 40-year rule. Nothing. Like, yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh my God.
Considered to be their candidate of choice. But while this new leader has largely remained somewhat of a mystery, you have Vladimir Putin offering his unwavering support for the new leader. Israel's already threatened to kill him, and Trump has previously said that this person would be unacceptable to him as supreme leader. Right? And you also had Trump making more comments recently suggesting that he'll do whatever it takes to get his way, writing on social media on Friday, "There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender," and then adding, "After that, in the selection of a great and acceptable leader, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly, getting Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again." When he had reporters on Air Force One asking him what he meant by this, he said,
"It's where they cry uncle, or when they can't fight any longer and there's nobody around to cry uncle. That could happen too, because we've wiped out their leadership numerous times already.
But with that, you've had White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, as usual, trying to qualify Trump's statement. Where they're saying that when Trump determines that Iran no longer poses a threat to the United States of America and the goal of Operation Epic Fury has been fully realized, then Iran will essentially be in a place of unconditional surrender. But others have also interpreted unconditional surrender as meaning something very different, including Tucker Carlson.
Unconditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter if they want. And everyone knows that. And that has been, if there's one consistent lesson of history, it means unconditional surrender means foreign troops get to rape your wife and daughter. Everyone can feel that. That's like the most atavistic instinct there is. And so to avoid that, people will do anything. And so that's why it requires that level of force to get a population subdued to the point of unconditional surrender. That's why. And so in this case, of course, we don't have the ground force necessary. I don't think Americans would voluntarily participate in it. I just don't think we can do that. It would require weapons of mass destruction. It would require presumably nuclear weapons in order to do that. And let's not lie to ourselves. We're moving toward that.
And while, there is a lot that Carlson is saying there, what's very wild is that there is some logic hidden there, and that Trump has presented the only acceptable outcome as the end of the regime, and that means that they have no reason to compromise. And despite the US and Israel's military advantage, it may take them more than 3 to 4 weeks to take down a government that has been fighting for its life, and it may only be opening the door to further escalation. But of course, everything is developing in real time, so I'd love to know your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to everything we're seeing so far in those comments. And in the meantime, of course, we have our eyes glued on this. And then there's more we got to dive into in just a minute.
It's
But first,
so
let me thank a
wild.
sponsor and say, small business life, it means hustling and figuring it all out. And payroll day, it shouldn't feel like you're defusing a bomb. Right? Well, Slack pings you and your bank app judges. And today's sponsor, Gusto, it's online payroll and benefits software built for small businesses, simple,
I don't wanna talk over the
remote-friendly, and
ad.
actually easy to use. Gusto puts payroll, hiring, onboarding, and support all in one place, and it automates taxes and direct deposits, so you're not trapped in spreadsheet hell. They also handle benefits like health coverage,
saw-
commuter perks, workers' comp, even
I saw a tweet earlier and it was like, congratulations to Trump. America took X amount of years to put the Taliban in charge of the Taliban. And then, or like to replace the Taliban with the Taliban, and Trump did it in a week. I was just like, wow. God, I hate that we're seeing this all over again. This is just 2003 all over again.
Try today at gusto.com/DeFranco to get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. And just one more time for fun, gusto.com/DeFranco. Then diving right back into the news, someone tried to set off a bomb right outside of Mamdani's residence. And I don't mean like a firework or a smoke bomb stunt. The FBI confirmed that one of the devices contained TATP, which is a highly volatile homemade explosive that's been used in terrorist attacks around the world. It had shrapnel in it. It luckily failed to go off, but if it hadn't, we'd be talking about a mass casualty event outside of Gracie Mansion. And this whole thing that we're talking about, it traces back to a January 6th rioter pardoned by Trump who organized an anti-Muslim rally specifically targeting Mayor Zoran Mamdani.
Oh my God. And the YouTuber, TikToker, I watch him all the time. He was there.
The first Muslim mayor of New York City. Yeah, there's a lot we've got to unpack. Starting with the event that seemed to be the target of this attack, right? That was organized by Jake Lang, who's been described in the media as a right-wing provocateur.
Oh, he got his ass beat in Minnesota.
And it sounds like J6, which was the most American thing in history. So, we have the power. We are the people. And if we want to get somebody out of prison, this is our country. We have the right to self-determination.
And you might remember this guy from a previous demonstration just a few months ago where he got his ass handed to him by counter-protesters. But then we fast forward to this last Saturday where you had Lang organizing what he called an Americans Against Islamification demonstration outside of Gracie Mansion, which of course is the mayor's official residence.
We're going to make sure that America knows this is a white Christian country, and we're going to keep it that way. God bless America. We're going to make sure Mamdani knows that he's not welcome in New York City.
And the promo material for this thing, it was, let's call it flagrant, right? Imagery that a lot of people recognize as dog whistles, calling back to the Klan, aimed directly at Mamdani, who Lang described as the #1 Muslim worldwide. With Lang showing up with about 20 followers and counter-protesters grew to over 100. And so as both sides are facing off, things start escalating. Right, one of Lang's followers sprayed mace at a group of counter-protesters, fistfights broke out, and then 2 smoking objects were thrown into the crowd. You had 18-year-old Amir Balak and 19-year-old Ibrahim Nik, who's also been named in reports as Ibrahim Kayumi, charged for the attack as well. Both were arrested Saturday, and luckily and thankfully, there were no injuries reported. Now with this on Sunday, you had officials roping off an area a few blocks from Gracie Mansion where they found a car belonging to one of the suspects. One source told the New York Times that they didn't recover additional devices from the car, but another source says that there were materials to make another one. inside. And it was reported today that there was, in fact, another device in the car, but it didn't contain explosive materials.
They were improvised explosive devices that could have caused serious injury or death. And our analysis showed that one of the devices deployed by the subjects contained the substance triacetone triperoxide, known as TATP. Now, TATP is a dangerous and highly volatile homemade explosive that has been used in IED attacks around the world.
And with this, you have the FBI, NYPD, Joint Terrorism Task Force leading the investigation, along with federal prosecutors from the Southern District of New York.
I can confirm this morning that this is being investigated as an act of ISIS-inspired terrorism.
With reports saying that at least one of the suspects expressed sympathy for ISIS content that he'd seen online, and that the attack was at least partially motivated by the kind of hatred that Lang's been directing at the Muslim community. With many now pointing to clips like this.
There are 53 Muslim majority countries, and in all of them, it is tyranny, destruction, it is shithole living. We have to call it what it is. You guys don't live like we do. We don't want you in our country. We will come and eat your shawarma in Somalia. We don't want you here. Respectfully, get the fuck out of my country.
Also with the situation, as things are developing, we're receiving updates. Like today, we got updates that both suspects reportedly said that religion was in fact the motivation for the attack. The FBI also adding that the men wanted to make this attack deadlier than the Boston Marathon bombing. Also, as far as Mamdani, you had him making his position clear that no matter the demonstration, it should never end in this type of attack.
This was a vile protest rooted in white supremacy. I'm the first Muslim mayor of our city. Anti-Muslim bigotry is nothing new to me, nor is it anything new for the 1 million or so Muslim New Yorkers who know this city as our home. While I found this protest appalling, I will not waver in my belief that it should be allowed to happen.
And today you had Mamdani adding that this was a heinous act of terrorism, and regarding the two suspects, that they should be held fully accountable for their actions. You know, one of the things that you have people saying that's going to make this even more frustrating
without pizza.
It's not.
Frustrating and concerning is that the bombing is going to make Mamdani's job harder to do. His approval ratings at an all-time high. He's organizing programs like the citywide shoveling program that dug New York out of some genuinely dangerous winter storms this year. And in addition to a number of things, he's somehow managed to keep the president relatively cooperative on things like affordable housing.
Yeah. Trump loves Mamdani. Absolutely loves him. I mean, we do too, but I think it's really funny.
Now, that's also not to say that everyone loves the guy. Over 60% of New York Republicans are still not on board. But the city so far seems to be getting some real results outside of this insanity. On one side, you have what are often right-wingers convinced that there's some black or brown boogeyman coming to destroy their way of life. And then on the other side, you have various cultures feeling ostracized and cornered, which is leading to more concerning reports of people deciding to take things into their own hands and going to extreme measures to, in their eyes, fight back. But make no mistake, if someone was killed here, that's just murder. And all of these flames, they're constantly being fanned by an administration who has continued to skew facts and fearmonger as a war that they're also not calling a war continues. And actually on that note, the selling of the Trump administration story about the war and Iran, it might be harder than ever, both at home and abroad, thanks to Kari Lake. That is, unless a federal judge in DC gets his way. Or because Judge Royce Lamberth just ruled that Kari Lake's leadership of the U.S. Agency for Global Media is unlawful. With this ruling, Lamberth's invalidated everything that Lake's done during her time, including laying off hundreds of people and the cuts to broadcasters both here in the States and around the world. And so now one of the biggest questions is whether this ruling's actually going to stick. But also, before we look ahead, we need to back up a bit, because the U.S. Agency for Global Media is the umbrella for many news outlets, including Voice of America. And that actually began broadcasting back in 1942 during World War II to combat Nazi and Japanese propaganda. Right? And also included Radio Free Europe and Radio Liberty, which kicked off in the 50s as a part of a CIA-backed initiative to stir up dissent against communism in the Soviet Union. Though also the CIA reportedly stopped being involved in the 70s. There's also Radio and Television Marti, a network established in 1983 to break through Cuban censorship, and Radio Free Asia, aimed at a response to the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre in Beijing. And then
So what I'm hearing is that a lot of this really hates communism. I'm hearing a lot of that because a lot of those are communist countries.
and there's the Middle Eastern broadcasting networks, which were created in 2004. And that notably includes Radio Farda as the Iranian branch. Right, and all of these, they're fully funded by the USAGM, delivering the news in dozens of languages and reaching hundreds of millions of people around the world. And, they brought news to places with incredibly limited press freedoms. And despite, how they started, they had full editorial independence for decades. The agency's charter requires journalists to deliver actual news and information rather than just being a government mouthpiece. And you had the so-called firewall, referring to policies that insulate them, their content, and their staff from political influence. But that firewall, it came under attack during Trump's first administration, with Trump's handpicked leader doing his best to chip away at the agency's editorial independence by punishing journalists who wouldn't fall in line to back Trump. A move that naturally led to some lengthy court battles and eventually a federal inquiry that found Trump's handpicked leader had, at least in some cases, violated the law. And I guess because history and the Trump administration repeat itself, we're back to the same place again, though this time with Carrie Lake as Trump's chosen. Right, and Carrie Lake, she's a former television anchor who unsuccessfully ran for both a U.S. Senate seat and for governor in Arizona. She is very much a die-hard Trump believer, and because Trump rewards loyalty like that, Trump placed her in charge of the USAGM when he came back into office, and he charged her with bringing it down. Right, a year ago, he issued an executive order demanding the drawdown of the agency, which prompted Lake to put most staffers on administrative leave and cut hundreds of contractors. And so that, along with other actions, it led to her largely dismantling Voice of America, which is then in turn led to several legal challenges and even defeats for the Trump administration. In fact, Judge Lamberth's ruling, it came from a case brought against Lake and the USAGM by several employees who were laid off, including Voice of America's White House bureau chief and other journalists. And you had a statement from the plaintiff's reading. The judge's ruling that Carrie Lake's action shall have no force or effect is a powerful step toward undoing the damage she has inflicted on this American institution that we love. And adding, even as we work through what this ruling means for colleagues harmed by her actions, it brings renewed hope and momentum to the next phase of our fight, restoring VOA's global operations and ensuring we continue to produce journalism, not propaganda. Now with this, an important thing to note is that Lake does not technically hold the position of CEO of USAGM, which is the part that requires congressional approval. Technically, she was named senior advisor to acting chief executive Victor Morales, who then delegated his authorities to her, though she has also repeatedly referred to herself as acting CEO or deputy CEO, which has led to some confusion about what title she actually has. But that also wasn't enough
The Artemis blade looks so badass.
for Lamberth. He rejected the argument, saying, quote, allowing the president to
Wait a minute.
circumvent Congress's carefully crafted limitations through delegations would violate the spirit of the Constitution. Now, as you can imagine, Lake was not exactly thrilled with Lamberth's ruling, saying in her response, the American people gave President Trump a mandate to cut bloated bureaucracy, eliminate waste, and restore accountability to government, and saying an activist judge is trying to
I feel like that's the copy and paste from every other lawsuit. An activist judge is trying to undermine America, and he hates all of you, and we strongly disagree, and we're gonna appeal, and they're hurting you, not us.
stand in the way of those efforts at USAGM. We strongly disagree with this decision and will appeal. And so now it's just a matter of, whether or not this is going to live through the appeals process, especially if it makes it all the way to the top. But if it is upheld, it would allow more than 1,000 journalists and support staff members to go back to their jobs. But then also another question is what exactly Carrie's going to be doing from now to whenever this gets resolved, and if not her, who's going to be in charge? And with that, we might actually get an answer later this week, with Lamberth requesting the government provide clarity on who the acting CEO actually is by March 11th, as well as provide a succession plan for the position. But then actually from that, it brings us to the final bit of news we need to talk about today, and that is that Trump is threatening to not sign any legislation until the SAVE Act becomes law. With him writing yesterday, it must be done immediately. It supersedes everything else. Must go to the front of the line. I, as president, will not sign other bills until this is passed. And the SAVE Act, as you likely know, because we've been talking about it so much, it mandates stricter voting registration and ID policies. It requires voters to prove their citizenship with documents like a passport or birth certificate, even though
I don't even know any bills that the House has in, any bills that are trying to become laws right now. I don't even understand this plight. Whatever, dude. What did the Ward Powers resolution? What is there to sign? That fucking dum-dum doesn't know how bills become a law after 10 days if the president doesn't sign it. Oh my God, that's so funny. I didn't know that either. Or didn't remember. That's hilarious.
it's already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. And again, no matter how much Trump tries to peddle conspiracies about it, non-citizen voting is incredibly rare. So, some fear that this isn't really going to help with election integrity, and instead it's actually going to hurt it. Because
I know some far-right people that don't even have their own birth certificate. Yeah, exactly. Married women. How many married women are going to want to go to the county clerk on election day to go pick up their marriage certificate and their birth certificate or social security number? Apparently, yeah. I have a passport, but how many right-wingers have a passport?
a number of ways. It would actually make it harder for eligible citizens to vote. Among other things, only half of Americans have a passport, and the process to get one can be lengthy and costly. There's also the huge crackdown on
It is
mail-in
very
voting,
costly
but
to get a
still, it
passport.
passed the Republican-controlled House last month, and now it sits in the Senate's hand. And Trump has made it incredibly clear that he wants the Senate to move, telling the chamber to focus exclusively on this act if necessary. He even previously said that he'd close the government over the SAVE Act because it's such a high priority, and he added yesterday, and not the watered-down version, go for the gold. Must show voter ID and proof of citizenship, no mail-in ballots except for military, illness, disability, travel, and then saying for this thing that's supposed to be about election integrity, no men and women's sports, no transgender mutilization for children, do not fail. Right, and those last provisions there regarding trans athletes and gender reassignment surgery, they were notably not even in the version signed by the House, so he's asking for even more to go in a new bill, which many see as an incredibly big ask considering the odds in the Senate are tough. Where Democrats largely don't support it, and Republicans only have a razor-thin majority, and they need 60 votes to get it passed.
Well, and also I heard that somebody is switching their party right now, so they're gonna move from Republican to Independent. God, he looks like Kawatoa, the fish dudes in Baldur's Gate 3 that worship the red cap. Yes. Yes. Accurate.
While Trump's previously urged his party to get rid of the filibuster to pass it, Majority Leader John Thune has pushed back on those calls. Right then, on top of that, some Republicans have even spoken out against the act, saying that they're unwilling to pass it in its current form. And so you had Minority Leader Chuck Schumer seeing Trump's legislative threat and writing, "The SAVE Act is Jim Crow 2.0. It would disenfranchise tens of millions of people. If Trump is saying he won't sign any bills until the SAVE Act is passed, then so be it."
I don't trust Schumer. I guarantee you he will find like 5 Democrats to side with the SAVE Act.
There will be total
Who also won't be up for re-election.
block in the Senate. Senate Democrats will not help pass the SAVE Act under any circumstances. With then other lawmakers slamming Trump for putting this so high on his to-do list, arguing nothing to lower grocery prices, nothing to lower gas bills, nothing to lower housing prices. The president says he won't make life easier until he makes it harder for you to vote. And then some arguing that Trump's pose could mean a longer shutdown for the Department of Homeland Security. You may have forgotten because it feels like it's faded to like a background C plot.
I
but
didn't.
There's been a partial government shutdown impacting DHS for a few weeks now. Funding ran out in mid-February as Democrats refused to line the department's pockets.
Oh, also somebody ordered like 2,000 cars with like ICE's logo on it. Like Kristi Noem told somebody to order a bunch of cars and it had ICE's logos all over it. But then the ICE people won't drive it because it has their ICE all over it. And then, you know, they get it called out on being ICE in a neighborhood and kidnapping. It just alerts more people easily. So they're not driving them. So there's just like 2,000 cars that they can't use, they can't sell back. Yeah, I read that today. The cars are also not legal to use. Oh, why? Tell me why, please. I didn't know that part.
Anymore until there are meaningful reforms to ICE's operations. But with that, TSA also falls under the DHS umbrella. And while TSA staff are considered essential and they work during the shutdown, they're not getting paid. And so this weekend, we saw tons of travel issues tied to shortages of security staff and major airports reporting incredibly long lines. As of this morning, New Orleans
They don't meet the qualifications. Like, do they not, like, because in New Jersey, like, if your window tint is too dark, you're not allowed to drive. So, like, what kind of qualifications are we talking?
said that
Like
wait
a
times could be up to
bachelor's
2
degree,
hours.
you
Houston's
know.
website estimates that its security line is about 3 hours. And so, some
There's only so many vehicles that are approved, and they bought the unapproved vehicles, literally all of it. Oh. Anything that could disqualify. Okay, so you mean there's like a list of vehicles that like government employees are allowed to drive? Am I understanding that right? Oh man.
some people have missed their flights because
Close
of the
enough,
chaos,
yeah,
and
okay.
airports are warning passengers to get to the airports incredibly early to handle these wait times. Now, for its part, the Trump administration has blamed Democrats for the shutdown and any effects it has, accusing what they call the radical left of playing politics with their homeland security. But one, Democrats have defended their choice, saying
Like
that
government
it's on
insurance will not
Republicans
cover
to
them?
agree to
Oh.
ICE reforms, which American citizens largely support. And two, you also have people arguing that Trump and Republicans are playing politics just the same, especially now that Trump's threatening to not sign any legislation until the SAVE Act passes. And so you have some wondering where Trump actually draws the line there. Or would he go so far as to not sign any potential future DHS funding if the SAVE Act is still sitting in the Senate? And, as the shutdowns lingered, we've seen the travel industry urging both sides to get back to negotiating, arguing that TSA should not have to work without pay so soon after the nation's longest government shutdown, especially since so many of them can't afford to miss paychecks, which is then forcing them to call out so they can get other gigs to pay their bills in the meantime. And so you have people like the CEO of the U.S. Travel Association saying it's not just unfair, it's reckless. You can't run an industry with $3 trillion in economic impact on IOUs. And also the CEO of Airlines for America arguing, we are in spring break travel season and expecting record numbers of people to take to the skies. Airlines have done their part to prepare. Now Congress and the administration must act with urgency to reach a deal that reopens DHS and ends the shutdown. America's transportation security workforce is too important to be used as political leverage. But for now, we'll have to wait to see if all these travel disruptions force Congress to negotiate further, if Republicans will agree to any ICE reforms, and how long Democrats are going to hold out. And then also, if a deal is reached between both parties for funding, will he sign it if the SAVE Act has not been signed? You know, with so many unknowns, we move our eyes forward to the week ahead. Because yes, while we're getting to the end of today's Philip DeFranco show, I'm going to see you right back here tomorrow. And in the meantime, you should check out another video I put out.
Thank you, Philip DeFranco, for the news. I want to find the thing about the cars. Loading. Oh, I probably should have not done that. Cars. Oh, wait, now they're saying like they're in hiding. They're not in hiding. Okay, so it's an ongoing story, it seems like. ICE stuck with millions in unusable cars. Okay. All right, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to use the restroom, and when I come back, it's going to be game time, okay? All right, you ready? Wonderful timing. Okay. I feel like a floating head with how dark it is in here and all the dark clothes I'm wearing. All right. I did play with the cables a little for the Xbox. And so I'm hoping it works. Wait. Did I not save? I don't know where I left off. I'm not used to, like, the Xbox not having to start all over from the beginning when you turn on a game. What the hell was I doing? Oh, there's zombies too. Okay, excuse me. Can a girl get a health potion? No. No! God damn it! I hate this game. I see him. Something there. Shadow. God. Okay, well, that's great. Later. Oh, shit. I don't know how you're supposed to defeat them. Anything I could use. Great.
Manda Sam says, I've been meaning to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Oh, good thing I don't have a car. Hi, man. Ooh, okay. Okay, okay. Okay, wait. So it's not squirting her. My messages aren't going through for some reason. Oh, it might be, probably getting picked up by the auto banner, but I don't know if I can... I don't have it on my screen, so that's not something I can do. Like the auto mod. Probably some word. Try using Leak Speak instead. I can understand that pretty well. Where'd that lady go? Ah, there she is. Finding it weird that saying hello is banned? Oh, I don't know then. I don't know why it's not going through. I don't think that's banned. So, I don't know what to do.
Oh.
Sniff me snapdragons. Hello. There we go. That's fine. Glad to see you made it, lad. Little Willie's water squirter ain't no good for the greenhouse, though. Infested with feathered freaks it be. Take Edna with wait till a while after you sort them out. It's my fucking VPN. Oh.
Okay.
Great. Thanks again, Mr. Fiddleabout. Fire! Fire! The garlic shots don't kill the... Oh no!
Okay.
Get me in there! Get me in there! Get me away from them ghoulies! This game is impossibly hard. I have no idea how I played this as a kid. No. Wait. I have to find the ghoulie key. Without destroying the house. And only hitting... What did I destroy? Damn it. Ah! I found it. Ugh. Now I can kill everything in here. Yeah. Ah. Look, sir, there it is. The first piece of the rhyme for the taking. Yeah, okay. Okay, good to know. Oh, well, that's also concerning. Alright, well, we might as well do the negative. Yep, get all the bad ones now. Don't have to deal with them later. Oh, I found the book.
Okay.
Graveyard icon means the number sir must vanquish foes of any breed to escape. What sauce? That layabout groundskeeper let you in here. I'll have him thrown out of his cottage. Still, not to worry, you won't be able to leave in a hurry to battle my beautiful creatures. Hold on. Wait. Oh, was I not? I wasn't supposed to kill 2 skeletons in a row. Charlie Kirk, Bill Vito. We are Charlie Kirk. Vetoed a bill that would have honored conservative activist Charlie Kirk on license plates in the Grand Canyon State. Oh my god. Vetoed, bitch. I love it. We are not remembering Charlie Kirk. Hold on. Where?
New York City is nothing without pizza.
I feel like I should be able to break that one. There we go. Oh, did I not get... Okay, those are the time ones. The flower one not be destroyed? I think it's funnier that Charlie Kirk memes have lasted long. Fuck, I didn't want to do that. Lasted longer than, like, Kirsty memes. No! Oh my god, kill me.
Okay.
I picked up the challenge completer. Good, kill me. I do like that everybody cheers when I die.
Okay.
Yeah! Challenge complete. There's still all these baddies in here. No! I was trying to kill them!
Oh.
No! Okay.
Okay.
No! How do I get out? How do I get out? Please tell me how I get out. I hate this.
Okay.
No! How do I get out of here? Okay. Thought they were more like negative things.
Okay.
I'm gonna be upsetty spaghetti in a moment.
okay.
No! Okay, wait. Okay, now the room is empty.
War! Oh, war!
Bam! First try! Let's go! Not even I believe that one. What was I doing? Is he still in here? I just don't have to beat his ass anymore? I do like how well of a job they did outside the greenhouse. How much it looks like where we were outside the greenhouse. Like, they did an excellent job with that. I see two more over there. Thought I saw one up there. What the fuck? Oh. Wait, I don't understand. Where's the other goalie? Okay, touch me. I don't even know. Found no key yet. You'll still be looking when the Reaper comes to call me. Thanks. Ha 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 ha. Maybe the Reaper's got the key? No. Can I beat up these bushes? No. Okay. Oh, I tried to kick him away. The mailbox should canonically have something in it. Flickering one. Oh, okay. I was like, wait, he was shimmering. Done fiddling cabbage. Ugh.
Yeah.
Ah. I can't find anything to grab. God damn it. Give me the arm. Kill me. Oh wait, I shouldn't have done that. At least it doesn't look like I have to do the wizard fight again. At least not yet. I spoke too soon. Now they go after me? Ah. Jesus Christmas. Oh my god. Damn it. Oh, god damn it. Ugh. Hold on, having a moment. The Elgato froze for a second. Oh. Close the program. Open the program. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I see a fishing pole. Where'd the fishing pole go? Can we maybe throw it the right direction? Come on, it's been going so good. Got through like an hour and a half of the stream without this happening. Hello? Going to work or program? Solid. Oh, maybe let's try maybe again. Damn it! Cooper! Move faster, Cooper! Get to the exit, Cooper! Thank you, Cooper. Jesus. Oh, not this room again. Hold on, I'm gonna try something. Oh no, it's like frozen. It's actually like, because I'm clicking on like the settings button and yeah, there it goes. It's all locked up. Close the program. For once, it's not like crashing, it's just freezing. really punching and I have to survive for 30 minutes. Thank you, Kenny, for contributing points to movie night. By the way, everybody, movie night thing is going on for like the next 30 days. I legitimately do not know what's happening at my capture card.
We're from Jersey, baby.
Girl, I want an Italian sub so bad right now.
And you're not.
Now I want one. Come get me one. Fly all the way to New Jersey. Go to some of the best delis you've ever been to. And bring me an Italian sub. Honestly, I'd go for a Wawa Italian sub at this point. We're from baby. We're all from Jersey. Alright, wait. There's something I wanted to do. With chips? Sure. Either salt and vinegar, kettle chips, or sour cream and onion ruffles. And it froze again. Oh, no, it didn't. I don't know why it saves everything. Oh wait, it's maybe that's what's going on, is my memory too full. Yes, I've clicked it 4 times. Won't delete this one. And now it won't let me go back to the capturing. Yep, not responding. So annoying. It was doing so good. Just want to get out of this room. I know I can do it. What kind of chips do you like with your Italian sub? Now I don't see it there. Now it's coming. Okay, there we go. Oh, but the audio's gone. And it's frozen again. God damn it. Oh, this is so annoying. I literally got everything fixed and it was working fine. Did everything right and it crashed on me. Did I mute something? Oh, I did. Did. Curse was gonna take me out anyway. Have you tried setting it up with OBS? No. Wait, what do you mean? One of these days we can try that out and get you all set up. Yes, please. Because like right now I have my capture card being read. You're going right into that fire. Being read by my... I know the Elgato capture is rough. Yeah, this is annoying. Okay, Mini Cooper. I know the past few days it's been my cables. It absolutely has. I fixed the cables and then it was just crashing. It was totally different crash freeze than we've had before. Wait, I'll read it in a second. Use OBS for mine and it's smoother. It just takes some time getting it going. No, I have OBS. Oh, do you mean like syncing it OBS to the Elgato? That's not what I needed. No, I was trying to get into... Fuck. Wait. I don't understand. My whole character just zoomed across the screen. I hate this. get closer to that door. Isn't there like a timer or something? He was almost there. Ugh. Okay, here's weapons. just getting to the point where I'm starting to get really annoyed. Like, I'm like, you know what? I might be done sooner than I intended today. No! God damn it! Fuck! That round was so good, too. Oh. There's not an easier way to go around this house. I have to do all this dumb shit. Great. Okay. Okay, good night, everybody. I'm done for the night. I'm gonna raid into Tim, so stick there for a moment. Oh, man. All right, so I don't know what's up with my work schedule tomorrow because they were supposed to call me for, like, what my shift was. And, like, I messaged them and stuff, and I haven't heard anything. But... And there goes my frames. Perfect timing. Awesome. But anyway, I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow or not, but I'll keep you guys in the loop. I'm going to raid out into Tim. That's not how I do that. And, yeah. I'll be back later this week. If not Tuesday, then definitely Wednesday. For more of this saltiness. Tim is playing Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. Hope you guys enjoy his stream. I hope you guys enjoy every day. And I will see you guys later. Well, now